Ladies and gentlemen, am I glad that 2024 is finally over. Never have I picked up a glass of champagne faster than to celebrate 2025 just so I can finally say my farewell and fuck you to the last year's, questionable lineup of games. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to the state of gaming, I've never seen myself returning to old games more often than in the year of 2024. Now, sure, there's been that occasional pearl in the sand per se, like Helldivers 2, the long-awaited DLC to Elden Ring, or the Indiana Jones game that came out in November. And kind of Path of Exile 2. I mean, the game is in early access, sure, but I just can't stop playing it, man. But for the most part, while there is something to choose from, I couldn't help but feel that the whole year overall was kind of dry, man. Thankfully, however, it does seem that this year, our beautiful, odd-numbered 2025 seems to have quite a lot of games to have us excited. So, without further ado, let us check out this pretty packed lineup of the biggest games coming out in 2025. Grand Theft Auto 6. Alright, thanks guys, thanks for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. I want to thank my mom, I want to thank my dog, my hamster. So the start of the year is already going off with a bang. While January might be more of a relaxing month, unless you count the Squid Game event in Call of Duty to be some sort of good content, February is where the real sauce is. February 4th is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. If you somehow managed to click on this video, you probably also know what this game is about. In short, it's a medieval game where you smack people with a sword, but unlike other similar games, well, you're in a strictly medieval setting, so no fireballs, no dragons, and no catgirls, unfortunately. You're enjoying the pure immersive life of piss and shit with the occasional castle while stealing, killing people, and drinking just the way it was in old Bohemia. Just keep in mind that this one seems to be a direct sequel to the first one, so I'd strongly recommend you skedaddle over to the first one and play it if you want to understand the story of the sequel. February 14th is the universally loved Assassin's Creed Shadows. Honestly, I don't even know what to think of this game anymore. It's been collecting controversies left and right this year, and it's still not even out yet. If I were to make a guess, it's gonna be another average Ubisoft open world with soulless side quests and NPCs. From what I've seen, you won't even be able to enjoy the Japanese culture the game's based on, as the devs themselves don't really seem to understand it. But, well, I'm not Japanese, so I have no idea how true that actually is. What I know for sure, though, is that if this game somehow doesn't become the new unexpected messiah of gaming and has the biggest No Man's Sky revival of the century, it's gonna be worth keeping your eyes on this one just for the memes. It's Ubisoft, so you know damn well people will not hold back if this game flops. And trust me, if it does, well, it's gonna be spectacular. Not even a week later, we're getting Avowed on the 18th. Now, I'd keep this one on your watch list simply because it's made by Obsidian. Judging by what I've heard from other people on the internet, this game could be pretty solid, at the very least as that kind of a filler game until something bigger or better comes out. It's not gonna be open world, but instead it'll be kind of level based with a focus on side content and exploration throughout each level, so I'd assume that the game isn't even going to take that long to finish either, which is probably a good thing. I personally think the game's looking fine for what it is, especially judging by the latest gameplay videos that we got from a few journalists recently. Combat might look a bit stiff sometimes, so hopefully they work that out. Otherwise, my only complaint right now is just the art style. It might just be me, but these Veilguard-esque graphics that leave out lots of realistic details for the sake of presenting this smoothed out cartoony style, they always kind of throw me off, man, but it might just be my personal preference. And to top off the month, yep, we're still in February somehow, we're getting Monster Hunter Wilds on the 28th. Now, this game I probably know the least about. All I know is this is something of a sequel to Monster Hunter Worlds with more focus on freedom and more of a dynamic world with the weather systems and all the life roaming each map. Now, I've played a bit of the first one, and if Wilds is going to be any level of fun as Monster Hunter Worlds, then I have no issues recommending this game even as an outsider. Hey, maybe we'll even get another fake blindfolded speedrun fiasco. You know, make a tradition out of it or something. Hell, maybe I'll even do it this time around, you won't even know. Now that we've made it past February, I'll start shuffling these games randomly, as a lot of the games still set for 2025 do not even have a set date yet. Mafia Old Country. Guys, listen, This is easily in my top 3 games that I'm the most excited for this year. Mafia is one of my favorite game franchises, and I won't allow any of you to shit talk this one, okay? Well, at least until it comes out. Excluding remakes, the last real Mafia sequel we got was Mafia 3 almost 10 years ago. And, well, let's just say that it wasn't the ideal Mafia game. With Old Country though, we're going straight back to early 1900s Sicily, and judging by the teaser trailers alone, I'm already super excited to see what this game's got to offer. Now, they've mentioned that it won't be a proper open world of any sorts really, instead focusing on linear story-focused content, which is kinda sad on one hand, but at the same time, if it ends up being any level of quality as the Mafia 1 remake from a few years ago, that's good enough for me. Now, I don't even know what's going on at the From Software headquarters right now, except that they currently seem to have a bit of a pest problem in their offices, but apparently we're getting a Battle Royale Elden Ring game? Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine with this one. Apparently it features a new map, 4 preset characters instead of being able to make your own, all of which have their own unique builds and playstyles. There seems to be a focus on a more exaggerated combat than what we're used to with your classic turn-based combat of Souls games, all functioning on this new roguelike foundation where you, and I'm not even kidding, you drop into a map, collect loot, kill bosses until the zone takes over the map, after which you fight some sort of a mega final boss of the run, I think. I don't really know the details, and honestly with this game, I'd probably just wait to see more teasers and gameplay so we have a better understanding of what the game is about. Well, that is unless you're a FromSoft fanboy like me, because your boy's gonna be here on day 1, baby. Doom Dark Ages. Now listen, I usually get bored pretty quick with Doomer shooters, but even I am impressed with the fact that they literally just took Doom Guy, dressed him up with a new cape, and gave him a shield, and just like that, it's just about 666 times more fucking metal. Is this my most awaited game of 2025? Not really. But am I still gonna be here day 1? Fuck yeah, baby. This dude already looks convincing enough for me to justify spending more money on video games. And listen, if you need more convincing besides the fact that you're gonna be going full medieval on some nasty demons with, well, hopefully some banger metal music in the background, look at this. This gun shoots skulls by grinding them into small pieces in live action. Actually, okay, now that I've rewatched the trailer again, I might take back what I said about Doomer shooters. Fable is yet another medieval fantasy game coming out this year. Now, this one, well, let's just say that it's not been well received so far. I still don't really know what to expect of this game, except the fact that it's supposed to be a reboot of the franchise, similar to, Saints Row. Well, we know how that turned out. I personally have only played the first game, which I absolutely loved, so I'll be there to see the reboot. But I'm not really holding my breath. If there's one thing that modern gaming has taught me, it's to not really have my hopes up for games that don't pique my interest on first glance. Yeah, I know, judging a book by its cover and all that, but I'd rather be unexpectedly surprised than, expectedly disappointed. I could have probably said that better. Listen, I'm not fucking Socrates, okay? You know what I'm talking about. Moving on. One game that's especially piqued my interest this year is Dying Light: The Beast. There's a lot of people in the gaming community who are sick to death with zombie games at this point, but I personally don't mind it, and games like Dead Island and Dying Light are among the very few zombie games that are actually worth your time and money spent. I personally didn't really like Dying Light 2. I felt like the darker and scarier style and atmosphere of the first one was way better than this oversaturated sequel, which in a lot of ways felt to me just like a Ubisoft game with generic quests and a huge quantity over quality problem. The Beast seems to be fixing it this time around, going back to a darker setting, a handcrafted map instead of copy-pasted interiors, and even bringing Kyle Crane back as the playable protagonist. And that on its own is exciting enough for me to give it a go. So, MMORPGs. Unless you've been living under a rock or dodging these games like the bubonic plague, which honestly good for you, you should know how absolutely down bad the state of the MMO genre is. Dune Awakening is probably the only upcoming MMORPG that aims to release within our lifespan. In fact, the devs have stated that they're aiming for an early 2025 release and have already shown a decent amount of footage to get us excited. I personally have never read the books, so I have no idea what the universe itself is about, but I did see that especially the book fans are not really impressed. But from the gameplay teasers alone, I am interested in what this game has to offer. Base building, cool vehicles, guns, guild drama over land and market. There seems to be quite a lot of content. I'm not gonna hype this game a lot because I still have yet to see how it actually plays out. But one more thing I'm gonna mention is these massive sandworms. Dude, they're so cool. Now this has been most of the big games from the top of my head, but realistically, we're not even halfway there. Here's a few more that I'd like to quickly mention in this video. Enshrouded, awesome crafting survival game with RPG elements, even magic, which is for me a big plus. The base building is also really solid. Currently in early access, play the hell out of it, can't wait for full release. Ghost of Yotai. Both this one and Ghost of Tsushima are gorgeous games, and the combat of the first one is loads of fun. Borderlands 4, nothing to say here really, it's just another Borderlands. Gothic 1. I played the shit out of this game when I was just a little wiener, and to this day it's one of my favorite games. The remake looks fucking gorgeous and I can't wait to play it. Witcher 4, I mean this one's simple. It's Witcher and CDPR. At the worst, we'll have a buggy mess of a game. At the best, well, we'll have another Cyberpunk or Witcher 3 level masterpiece storytelling that will have me absolutely hooked. At least I hope. Honorable mention, Solasta 2. Another CRPG and a sequel to Solasta 1. In case you're a super fan of Baldur's Gate 3, this might be the one for you to change things up. Comes out 2025, but only as early access, so keep that in mind. And the last but definitely not the least, Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, we all know what it's gonna look like when this game comes out. I feel like the entire world will just pause for a solid week until it comes back to full motion again. Record numbers of vacation days taken, record number in laziness among workers. I mean, you get it. Everybody will be here to play it. Even your grandma, even the people who won't even have a console to play it on. In full seriousness though, I'm not excited for GTA 6 just because it's GTA, but because Rockstar Games always tries to exceed their own previous magnum opus with the new one. I still remember how absolutely impressive GTA 5 was to me back in the day when I was just a little fart dreaming about getting my hands on it. And now in recent history, with Red Dead Redemption 2 being hands down the most detailed and technically impressive game in the world, with no other game being really even close to what Rockstar have managed to accomplish, just judging from the trailer 1 for GTA 6 alone, well, I'm really goddamn excited. The beaches and streets packed with NPCs, the colorful visuals, the really warm feel and look to the game that perfectly represents the cool vibes of Miami, all the while the main story supposedly focuses on some kind of a Bonnie and Clyde theme for the main characters. Unless Rockstar somehow majorly fucks up with this game, it's gonna be an absolute banger. Anyway, the lineup for 2025 seems to be pretty damn cool this year. It might sound like I've been pretty harsh or critical of some games, but in all seriousness, I'm pretty damn excited for what's to come this year, and there's a lot more to come than this. So before I depart, in case you made it this far, let me know what you're the most excited about. I'm expecting the obvious answer to just be GTA 6, but in case it's something else for you, maybe something that I didn't even mention in the video, let me know. Let's inspire each other with what to play and start this year off with a goddamn bang. Either way, thanks for watching and take care.